So, recently opened this month is this place. It's called the Moco Museum. It's an art museum with interactivity on 3 floors in a newly refurbished building in Marble Arch. So join us as we take you along with us for our visit here within the first few weeks of opening. Oh, and by the way, this is the middle of the summer holidays here in the UK, so you can judge by how many people are here how busy this sort of place is. So as I said, we want to give you a snapshot because this place is brand new. We just want to give you a flavour for it, tell you what our views and opinions are of it as well, just so you can decide for yourself if you want to come on home and have a look. And of course, if you're not here in London and not visiting in the not too distant future, then hey, let's show you some different types of artwork here. Now, some of the amazing things are you've got original artwork from artists you will have heard of. So sit back, enjoy the video, and we'll share the art with you, and also some of the fun interactivity as well. And now I can't tell you what a plastic dolphin is doing in a rubber ring. Anyway, here's a slightly different thing. This is a life-size car made out of fiberglass, but then in it you've got bits of quartz and crystal, which makes it look extremely effective. And this is almost like the centerpiece on the ground floor as you go in. The car itself is a Porsche and it's been completely redone, but as you can see inside, even the seats, which are normally sort of nice and comfortable and soft, have got cords coming from it as well, and you've also got it in the roof. Now, also the great thing about these artworks are that you can get right up close, but they do ask you right at the front door as part of the house rules not to touch anything, so you've got to be really, really careful that you don't touch anything because you wouldn't want to damage stuff. But as you can see here, you can get really close and have a good look at all of the objects that are available to see. By each of the artworks concerned, you get a bit of a blurb about the artists themselves and what the art is about. Here, you've got some original Damien Hirsts. So if you like dots and spots, this could be your sort of thing. Reminds me of Harrods and that woman putting dots on the Louis Vuitton stuff. And here, you've also got another Damien Hirst, but these are all little tablets. Yes, they're pills, all sitting on the shelf here using mirrors around them to sort of reflect them around. But don't worry, we're going to come back to this a little bit later because Jaden noticed something when we were here where they're not quite so uniform, so we'll come back to that a little bit later. But also, as you can see, some of the art is absolutely massive, and if you think this is big, you just wait till we go upstairs and see some of the big things that are up there. And I think this is meant to be Mickey Mouse, and yeah, and Mickey Mouse is, or Mickey Mice sitting on top. Now, this is also another big painting, and as you can see here with this boy walking past, it just gives you an idea of the size of it. So a lot of the things here are abstract, so it really does depend on your taste, but it's worth just coming to see some of the bits and pieces that they have, and we're going to share more of that with you. Now, also what I love about this as well is a lot of the art is 3D, so not only can you get up close, but you can go round to the side and just see the bits of it sticking out. Yeah, you can tell how I've never become an art critic for the Times, can't you? Right, Damien Hirst we talked about earlier. Here's another original piece of Damien Hirst with all of the butterflies. So this he made in 2006 and is the original and has been loaned from a private collection in New York, as has a lot of the original artwork you're going to see a little bit later as well. Now this one's slightly concerning for me because not only has this person lost most of their bike, they seem to have lost their legs somewhere as well. Anyway, probably why they can't ride the bike in the first place. But anyway, we come to some more 3D art here as well. And I love the eclectic mix of art that they've got. Now, one thing I would really encourage if you're coming down here is to make sure you check all of the areas because stuff is hidden, including this Pablo Picasso. And this one is called Painter. Yes, it's an original Picasso. Here you go, just to prove it. And then right next to it, you've got some original Andy Warhols. So the artwork is based over 3 floors. That's the ground floor, the first floor, and also the basement. My recommendation is come in, do the ground floor, go up and do the first, and then go down to the interactivity down in the basement. And yes, you saw some Tracy Emin as upstairs, also some Banksy. But I also spoke to the people that are here and curating this, and they are going to change some of the artwork at a later time. So I think it's going to be one of those places to come back and visit on an annual basis as they bring different types of artwork in. Now this is one that I had to look at time and time again and eventually worked out what it said, because I thought the second line was something about elephants. It wasn't. But anyway, it's all about art, having a good look, and then maybe getting it a little bit later as well. So these are the works by Tracy Emin, and seeing some of her previous stuff, actually this is very, very tame. So in this section you've got lots and lots of images of the late Queen, and I love this because you've got them in different colours and in different styles, and when you look at them like this it looks like postage stamps placed on the wall. And also in this collection you've got Elton John doing his best Donald Trump-like look with the orange. Yeah, like that. Great capture and great colouring as well. And then next to him you've got a picture of Pink, which is sort of the 3D. I think it's a vernacular style, so it's one of those where you look at it one angle and then look at it another and it looks slightly different. Hopefully that's caught that in this video. So here you've got a number of plates decorated by different people. And what happened was during the 2020, at the height of the pandemic, the Coalition for the Homeless got together with lots of different people, partnered with 98 well-renowned artists who created limited edition dinner plates. And as a result of which, raised lots and lots of money to help New Yorkers get off the streets. So far we've seen different types of arts, from cars to paintings to plates. How about this one for an interactive? Yes, it's a Time magazine with a mirror so you can come and get your photo done. So what I would suggest is come with someone else, let them stand just slightly off centre and you stand off centre as well, get the reflection and you get an amazing photo. Now for this one, I'd suggest you have a really good look at that. Use the pause button on YouTube and just see some of the things that are here within this, well, can only be described as piece of art. So you've got Kermit the Frog, there's Snoopy, and there's lots of other bits and pieces in here, including the Leaning Tower of Pisa down the bottom there, a squid, and there is just so much to see. And I must admit, I stood there for quite some time looking at it, getting in the way of everyone else trying to have their photo taken with this timepiece. Now, with a bit of luck, you remember Robbie Williams, him of Take That, and you've got some of his art here. And apparently, coming to the museum next year is going to be a whole collection of his art coming in. Currently, it's in Amsterdam, but I must admit, it did make me laugh, some of these mixtapes that he's got. And anyone watching that doesn't know what those are on the wall, they're called cassette tapes, and you had to use them with a pencil. Anyone that remembers cassette tapes will remember what that was for. Oh, by the way, that lyric there was from No Regrets, from Robbie Williams' second album. So anyone that's a regular watcher of the channel, has been watching for a few years, will know one of my favourite artists is Banksy. And I'm not even going to talk about the morals and ethics of it all and all the rest of it, but they've got some original Banksys. Yeah, these are all original, which have been loaned here. So I was really, really pleased to come and see some of the Banksy things that are here. And it's quite interesting that some of the Banksys are here because over the last couple of weeks in London, a number of pieces of his art have been popping up left, right and centre, including a police box, which was all see-through, which is now turned into a sort of fish tank. So I'm going to go and see if I can go and grab that, because that's at the Guildhall in the City of London, which they've taken it in for safekeeping. Here we go for some Banksys to probably the largest piece of artwork here at the museum. And it's not these pieces, it's the pieces that's hanging here on the wall. Really hope you're enjoying the Moco Museum. So if you're thinking of coming up here, it's on for long term, so it's not one of these that's going to be on for sort of 5 minutes. But if you're thinking of coming up here, it's at Marble Arch, and it's literally just around the corner from Frameless. And if you've not seen Frameless before, I'll put a link to that up in the top right hand corner. And it's the opposite the statue at Marble Arch, so it's really easy to get to because it's right at the end of Oxford Street. So it's based over 3 floors, but the great news is there's lift access to all floors. So whilst it's different panels of art put together, and it's called Super Flat, I wonder how long that took to put together. Quite incredible. And how about this? Yes, 3D sculpture here with a sort of Mickey Mouse on the top of it. But I must admit, I did have to look twice to realise it was Mickey Mouse. They say that art gets you thinking, and you probably need to read this 2 or 3 times to understand where it's going. Poor old Richard. So far we've shown you a selection of work from both the ground and the first floors. Now we go down into the basement, and you can see why they've put all this stuff down in the basement here, because the use of lighting is really important with this artwork. So this is a sort of carpet, yeah, it's all woven, and then you go into this area here. Now this reminds me of the Paradox Museum where Jaden and I queued up for, must have been about 20 minutes to go into a small police box for sort of what they called their infinity room. Yet here, at the Moco Museum, a number of people can come here at the same time, and I think they've done it so much better because not only have you not got to wait, but actually it really does feel like an infinity room. And actually all it is a room with mirrored floor, mirrored ceiling and mirrored walls. For me, coming to the Moco Museum, it's been advertised and trailered for quite some time, so I knew I wanted to come just from some of the things that they'd teased for coming down here. And actually, when you compare it to the Paradox Museum, which had hundreds of people in, although it had great exhibits, it really was quite a crush. Coming here, it feels a lot more open. And for me, I just love the great mix between some of the art and some of the absurdity of the art, but also some of the interactivity as well. So it's got a really great balance, and I know with Jaden, because Jaden came with me for both of these, he really loved this as well. Now downstairs here in the basement you've also got digital art. That's sort of crypto art, and actually it just goes round and round in a loop, but it is very mesmerizing. And just look at these displays, and we've got some more of that to bring you before the end of this video as well. And with these digital screens and the things keep revolving around on it, and I must admit I do love the gummy bear here with his number underneath after he's been arrested for something by the New York police. It just gives you something completely different in the way of art. Now this you quite often see in different art installations, and I remember this under the Great Mound of Marble Arch last year, where they had a number of these here sort of hidden underneath. So quite interesting that it's literally just popped over the road. Now for me, I love this next piece of art, which is the ultimate in interactivity. So there you go, you've got a pair of hands holding this heart, but as you can see with Jaden practicing, he's just having a wave at it, and then as he waves, there you go, it's replicated onto the sort of the sequins that are there in front. There you go, so you can see Jaden jumping up and down, and then I had a go, and you can see me filming it. So do hit the comments down below. I'll be really interested to know, what was your favourite piece of art that you saw? Was it interactive or was it a classic style? Do let us know in the comments. It'd be fantastic to see. Now I must admit, this is one of these places that brings you back time and time again, because once you've got your ticket, it doesn't matter how many times you go round, you can go see things time and time again. But how about this? A sort of Japanese lunar garden. So this is all sand in a perfect condition, although you can see people have sort of leant over them poke the sand. It's all done beautifully, all been raked. And then what you've got is you've got your Japanese lantern, you've got your cherry tree in front of it, and then you've got the moon. And how tranquil is this? And now to our final piece of graphic film art, and this is in a room all on its own, but once again you've got to go finding it because it's off a room sort of thing. But just look at all of the different textures that you've got on here, but also look at how they've turned everything that's normally sort of the normal shape. There you go, you've got a leaf there which is a diamond, but they've taken things into a normal shape and they've changed the shape, especially later when you see the sun. So sit back and enjoy this. And there you go, right at the end you've got the square sun setting into the distance. Hope you found that relaxing. So, do you remember earlier we showed you this by Damien Hirst with all of the different tablets in it, all the different pills, with a mirror as well. And I've got a funny feeling it's paracetamol, judging by the fact it says P-A-R-A on it. But anyway, we found something slightly different, or at least Jane did. One of the tablets has fallen out. Yeah, look at that. We found it. And we don't think it was designed that way. So, what do you think to the Moco Museum? Have you enjoyed it? How does it compare to some of the other places that we've been to? That's places like Twisted, the Paradox Museum, and various other ones as well. Do let us know in the comments down below. And of course, you've got the obligatory gift shop at the end, but for me, what I loved was those neon signs and those sorts of skateboards with, yeah, can you see the Campbell soup on there? A great nod to Andy Warhol.